Our next presenter would be Attorney Bok. I think he has a presentation. Attorney Bok, ready po? Okay. We're losing connect. We're just losing for a few moments, Attorney Bok. While waiting for him to log in, we have a question for Judge. Maybe while waiting for Attorney Bok. Judge Azon, are you free to answer this question while waiting for Bok? The first question would be from Jaira. Do you think those incarcerated should also be given the option of community service if they can't pay their bail? So, ano ba to, Judge? Parang subsidiary, ano ba, sa article? Ano ba yan? 39 ng Revised Penal Code? Opo.
Parang hindi po available ang subsidiary imprisonment. In fact, I don't put it anymore.
Yes, Judge. Yes, Judge. You raised
it in the context of plea bargaining? I wonder. Because what happens if it's plea bargaining? What I do is I usually this is my standard penalties. For Section 5, I give 1 year to 2 years imprisonment and fine, and always with DDE. Then for Section 11, usually I just give straight 1 year imprisonment. And then since these are probationable, immediately after the promulgation of the judgment, they apply for probation. And while they are even applying for probation, I already, upon motion, I release them on recognizance. And then, so that at least wala na sila sa jail, di ba?
Yes, Judge.
Even while they're waiting for the probation to process. There's attorney. So yeah.
Yes, Judge.
Then
yes, Judge. Yes, also in your presentation, Judge, you mentioned about the high recommended bail for informations for Section 5.
Section 11. Section 5 is non-bailable. Section 11.
Hello?
Yes, Judge. So I think Attorney Bok is with us.
Yes.
He's online. So
okay. So I was showing the organizational chart of Caloocan Anti-Drug Abuse Office.
Bok.
And I was commenting how we have 7 accredited doctors to conduct a drug dependency exam. But I'll show you later. This is not even enough. Next slide. Okay. So the result of the this is what happened when we first got into a plea bargaining. So we already set up the community-based drug rehab pods, all over Caloocan. We had at least 5 going at that time. We were accommodating like 30 per batch. So this is a sample of a court order that the executive judge, Vic Cabañas, and I agreed on. So that the order basically shows that all the plea bargainers would be released to me as head of the CADAW. So yun agree namin because they were thinking at that time whether the plea bargaining would be basically availing of probation, and they said it shouldn't be because probation should be for other crimes. So this is a release on recognizance to CADAW. When we started in 2018, syempre yung mga doctor namin, ayaw pumunta ng kulungan. They have so many jobs or they have so many work already to do, and then papuntahin pa sila in such an environment where it's not really conducive to do that. So yung unang batches actually, hindi ko nahanap yung pictures. They actually had to be sent to our office, 100 at a time. So when that became too difficult also for BGMP to do, kasi nga baka mag 100 meter dash daw sila. So what happened was we went to jail and our team conducted our own DD process there. I'll show you the screening process in the next slide. Okay, the next slide, please. Now we spent a lot of time in jail for sure during this last
3 years just to conduct the DDE. But this was the screening process for plea bargaining. So the team, we have an average of let's say 100 per day. So a team of 2, 5 each will go there, dalawang doktor, and then apat na screeners. No? So there's going to be an intake done by the psychometricians and other screeners. They also do the basic DDE, because imagine we only have 4 hours to do that. There's 10 teams, there's 10 people, and then there's 100 per day. It's going to na parang in-approve na court na pwede na mag-apply for plea bargain, and therefore have to be processed by us. Right? So the entire process takes one plea bargainer maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Kompleto na yun, from the intake to the DDE doctor. And then after that, we submit, we're given 3 days to process. I sign the recommendation, level 1, level 2, or worse. No? So I'll show later the levels. And then my recommendation directly results in that court order which I showed earlier, which is the compliance with the court order. And once the judge is satisfied that that person who plea bargained underwent the proper process, and that we are ready to receive him in the community-based drug rehab program, and then he is immediately released. No? Takes less than a week. So because of that, a lot of people actually availed of the plea bargain. The next slide, please. Okay, so this was, I have a deeper number later, but we were averaging 213 per month before the pandemic. Before that, 2018, we had more. So I have the number later. And then we processed in 2019, 2,510. The current population of the Caloocan City Jail right now is about 1,800 for a jail that's supposed to house 200 people. Maybe 400 if kung talagang pipilitin. But when the COVID pandemic started, we went online, the DDE. So from June to December last year, our average of clients that we were able to process went down from 213 to 115. So from June to December last year, we processed a total of 801 plea bargainers. And then this year, we went down further to 98 clients per month, so 391. Again, plea bargaining comes sort of hand in hand with the voluntary, let's say, people who voluntarily went into the program just because they're in the Tokhang watch list. So we also, that was the framework by which the plea bargainers came in. They basically piggybacked on the community-based drug rehab program we have, which we call CAROTS. It's another acronym. So if you see the red line, that's the voluntary numbers. And the plea bargaining, when it started, you could see it's more than double the voluntary numbers. But both of them, both of those numbers suffered, especially the plea bargaining, which makes it more urgent, because the police didn't stop sending people to jail when COVID started, right? But how come there's less people who are applying for plea bargaining now? So that's another context I want to raise, maybe with a judge, because we haven't been delinquent in our duty. Our backlog today is only 40. We can process that in a day. So this is the total screen starting 2018. So I'm showing here the levels of, based on the DDE, the drug dependency exam, there's levels of addiction that they recognize. So level 1 is very, very slight in experimental users. You can get your counseling from just 1 or 2 sessions. But when you're categorized as level 2, then you have to enter into a series of community-based drug rehab program, which could last between 6 weeks to 4 months. So if you see on the right-hand column of 2018 to 2019, out of 3,226, the level 1 was 452, level 2 is more than 2,000, and then level 3, 100. But here's the most telling statistics. We actually have level zeros. Level 0 means no intervention needed. Right? That is an innovation that was sorely lacking at that time, but we really pushed for it. And thankfully, the doctors who are accredited by the Department of Health step up to the challenge. So imagine for that year, those 2 years, there were 170 people that didn't even have to be in jail for a drug offense, because the doctor said you're absolutely fine as far as predilection to drug addiction is concerned. Then the numbers went down, as I mentioned earlier, in 2020, mainly because of COVID. It's not our ability to process them, again, because we never slowed down. The systems were there, even if we conducted the screenings online. The lower figure of voluntaries is not so important to us, but you can see at the lower left corner, out of the 7,377 that we screened that underwent our drug dependency exam, 4,500, or almost double. Yeah, actually double yung number ng plea bargainers sa voluntary. So, which leaves a lot of questions to us. Are we providing them the proper intervention, or even the proper program, or even the proper response, just so they can get out of jail? And out of these numbers, it's even more alarming. The number of people that out of those thousands that we screened, we actually just finished addressing the 468 people from plea bargaining. Despite the size of my team, despite the fact that I have at any given time I could have 6 or 7 classes going that would process them under an agreed program with our partners, in Ateneo School of Psychology. We developed this very nuanced program. It's not a one size fits all. There's a lot of assessments involved in between after the screening. But despite that, we only completed a total of 468 out of the so many thousands that we screened. So I'm going to show a sample of a data that we collected from 166 of the plea bargainers that went our way. We, in the middle of their counseling with us, multiple sessions, especially those that were categorized by DDS level 2. These are the composition. So ASI is Addiction Severity Index. It's a widely accepted measurement tool, measuring not just the drugs in your system or your predilection to drugs, but also your medical and health in general, your employment status, your predilection to alcohol abuse, your legal problems, your family problems, and your psychological problems. So that each person is graded a score between 1 to 10, and out of 166, ito yung composite, the lower left corner. So as you can see, I mean, it should be obvious to anyone, because the cohort of respondents came from jail, so legal yung problem nila, no? And then drugs will be secondary, almost the same with employment. We also have female PDLs, but they're housed in a Malabon City jail. But we try to cater to both of them as much as we can. And the gender distribution is very telling. 90% is male. Then the age distribution, the big slices is in red. And the second big slice is in yellow. So 32 to 39 years old and 40 to 49 years old. But the blue slice is also telling 24% belongs to the 20 to 29 year old population. Then the civil status is again very telling. Out of the 160, this is a very good sample that we took from our data. More than half are single. And then the rest are even split into married, remarried, separated, or a large part, 20% are also common law. We tried to go deeper into the causes of their problems. Was it a housing problem? Is it having difficulty raising children? These are the data that we came up with. This counterintuitively, 77% of the respondents actually own the residence they live in. Right? So only 22% were renting. It shows the wide range of what ownership means, maybe in Caloocan. And then most of them, like 80%, do not have children living with them. As far as medication, we also tried to guess or to gauge yung chronic medical problems nila. 90% of them do not have chronic medical problems. And out of the respondents, well, obviously, 83% have been in jail before. So these are not first-time offenders. Only 16% were. So we like gathering this data because it informs us on what happens to them when they leave the program, or what happens to them when they're not able to get in the program. The ultimate goal, of course, is to get them reintegrated into society as fully functioning and highly productive individuals. So we try to at least deduct or get from them directly what are their skills or last occupation. So a lot of them have construction or in construction. All right, and then employment pattern. These are important data to us because it tells us on how to develop or design our program. A number of dependents, 58% say that at least 2 people depend on them, and then it's a good. Then it goes down after that. So these are not people from big families. Okay, so the last slide shows us what are the challenges for us right now as a team. What lies ahead? Kung tuloy-tuloy si COVID, what do we need in order to keep going? Well, it's always a cell phone. The only way we communicate with them is a cell phone. They get released from jail. They report to us and they say we have to talk to you through cell phone because everything's online nowadays. Right. At the same time, we really have to expand our team so that we can keep servicing the voluntary clients. And then the cell phone, of course, can only work if there's a load allowance. So that's it for my part. Thank you very much for listening.
I think Attorney Mimi is having technical difficulties right now. Hi, this is Rod. Nice to see everyone. Thank you, Attorney Bok, for your presentation and giving us a bird's eye view of what's happening in one of our LGUs. Attorney Mimi, are you back?
Yes, I'm here. Okay, so this is what we call Murphy's Law. Every time we
Yes.
yes. uh, anyway, so where are we? I was able to listen to the presentation of Bok, and yes, very telling how they were even able to innovate level 0, and their addiction severity index is not an addiction severity index. From what came out of their assessment, so most of the problems would be legal related.